What's up guys, Jivin back with another video. One of the most important ways to get better at Fortnite is finding your weaknesses. You can do this by VOD reviewing, or just when you die try to figure out why did you die. Some people have a hard time with this and don't know what to do with the information when they figure out what their weaknesses are. So in this video, I'm just going to go over some of my deaths and why I died and what I would do to fix it. If you guys saw the low ground peace control video I posted, that was a perfect example that you just saw, FYI. Don't forget to use code JIVINTV and let's hop into this video. So this first clip is an early game fight and I pushed this wall so bad right here. I had a health advantage, but I gave him that easy right hand peek shot on me. I shouldn't have rushed that, instead I should have set up a right hand situation for myself like this. If you push their walls from the left side, that's the best way to apply pressure because you can set up a right hand peek for yourself. This fight ended because I didn't pay enough attention to my mat count, so I ended up falling to my death. I could have either dropped down earlier in the fight or just paid more attention to my mat count throughout the fight. So this next fight I died because I rushed the fight too much. In early game it's important that you figure out what shotgun the enemy has, because if they have a primal shotgun you really need to play your distance. I have a whole video on how to fight against the primal shotgun if you need help in that area. In this game I ended up dying because of a lack of awareness in late game. It's really important in late game to keep track of your mat count. I really thought that I had more mats in this situation, but if I would have taken just a second to glimpse down at my mat count, I would have realized that I needed to conserve more mats. Instead I was just doing a full tunnel, and because of that there was no way I was even going to make it halfway to the next zone. There was a player above me with an RPG, and I could have saved a lot of mats just by applying some pressure with my RPG back at that player. But more importantly, just being aware of how many mats I had in that situation could have saved my life. In this situation, instead of focusing on the other player that was alive, I focused the mats and the loot on the down body. But I should have been focusing the other player because I still had plenty to clean up this fight. But I got greedy and ran into this fully built box, and that left me with no escape. So instead in the future I need to focus on finishing the fight and then going for the loot after, because I had plenty of mats to finish that up. So now it's time for an embarrassing clip. If your aim ever looks as bad as this, you're flicking too much and you're completely airballing shots, you need to take more time with your shots, slow down and aim better. A lot of the times all you need to do is compose and take more time with your shots and just breathe. But if you really struggle with aim, I'd recommend using Aim Duels, Kovacs, or Skaavok's creative map. I'll link those in the description. So Aim Duels is really good for up close aim, whether it be with a shotgun, AR, SMG. It's really good for practicing that up close tracking, and there's peak shot courses in there too that you can run with other players. For distance AR tracking, Skaavok's is a really good option. And Kovacs, there's drills for everything, but I don't really use Kovacs that much. I would just recommend searching best Kovacs maps. If you need aim practice, just add that to your warm-up routine. So in this situation, I got him fully peace controlled, but I went for this awkward peek shot. Instead, in the future, if I'm in that situation, I'm just going to open up a wider edit because he wasn't even looking at me. So this early game fight, I was prioritizing mats too much. Sure, I was low on mats, but I was farming mats in the open. If I'm in an awkward spot like this where farming mats just is not safe, I could have just repositioned into the building and then I would have had a safer place to farm mats and just restart the fight from there. So if you're wondering why I have bubble wrap builds, a lot of these clips are from a long time ago. Usually after I watch back my losses and see how I died, I just delete the clips, but I saved these ones from a while back for this video. And so a lot of these mistakes I ended up improving on over the past few weeks. This fight is a good example of one of those things I improved on. When you're fighting against a primal shotgun, and they're chasing you around, whether it be with a harpoon or just jumping in your box with a pickaxe, you need to make sure that when you make an edit, you close it behind you if they're just cycling through your builds. You'll see I died in this situation because I didn't close my top edit fast enough. You need to either make edits that you don't even need to close, or just close them really fast after you go through. If you're having trouble doing that at a fast pace, you may need to do some building drills, whether it be in Raiders Peace Control maps, edit courses, or just free building and creative and practice resetting builds behind you. That can help you avoid that in the future. Running those maps can help you stop choking edits, and there's also targets along the edit courses, so it can help you improve your confidence with your shoddy shots. I keep getting asked for an updated warm-up routine, but the truth is, I don't really do too much to warm up right now. I just recommend if you're struggling with a certain aspect of the game, whether it be aim, editing, building, add those things to your warm-up routine. When I'm warming up recently, I've just been running through Raider's Peace Control edit course or not doing a warm-up at all. Because a lot of my weaknesses in the game right now are just mentality switches. I make a bad decision and I need to focus on that in the future. It's not really something I need to practice in creative. But if you're struggling with stuff like choking edits, missing shots, then yeah, you definitely need to add that to your warm-up routine. That way you can focus on those things at the start of the day and hopefully you can train yourself to be better at them. For example, when I talk about mentality switches, in this fight I just jumped in. I thought he was weak enough to finish the fight, but I could have just been more safe and healed up before jumping in. Or focused on getting a right-hand peek shot. Another thing I recommend if you're choking edits and builds, start learning more retakes. I talked about this in one of my last videos. Learning retakes can help you improve your edit speed, improve your movement, improve your understanding of how builds place. And it may not seem worth it in the moment, but you'll notice if you learn a lot of retakes, you're just going to get overall so much better. I have lots of building tutorials on my page. If one of them seems too hard, check out another one because I have lots of different ones, some for beginners, some for more advanced builders. So this is just another example of choking my shots. A lot of times I get too caught up in my building and editing and I start moving too fast and then my shots get flicky. I talk about this a lot, but if this happens to you as well, sometimes all you need to do is a simple mentality switch. Switching between editing and building mode into aiming mode and slowing down your aim. That way you can hit more shots. If you're playing all flicky, you're going to be missing a lot of shots, If there's a little mentality switch that I need to work on, just at the start of the game, I think out loud. I'm like, okay, I need to work on this, and this game. And I try to keep it on my mind the entire game. That way I can have it be my main focus. And if you practice those mentality switch-ups enough, then it'll just become habit and you'll play like that all the time. This here was another situation where I got caught up in builds that were not my own. I don't think it was the enemies either, but still, you need to be surrounded by at least one piece of building that's yours so that you have an escape. You don't want to get pinned in the corner by a primal shotgun like I just did. So in this situation, I was really low on mats, and I ended up playing as if I had 0 mats. Yeah, I needed to look for a refresh, but I could have used these 3 builds to my advantage and probably gotten a refresh. Instead, I played like I had 0 builds and I was a sitting duck. Just training yourself to check your mats every few seconds can be really helpful for you in late game. So this probably happens to a lot of you as well, getting focused in arena lobbies at late game. What I did wrong here was I rushed my rotate. I went out into the open in between like 3 players. What I should have done was wait for some other players to rotate so that they can get focused a little bit and give me time to get in. You need to be patient with your rotates. Don't just jump straight into zone because you're oftentimes going to get sprayed at. A lot of times all you need to do is wait for other players to rotate, and that'll give you an opportunity to either rotate behind their builds or rotate while everybody else is distracted by them. Now in this situation, I was so good on mats. I was chilling. I should have won this game. But there was a person on front edge of zone spraying back at us, and I decided to pick a fight with the other person on the back edge of zone. Get ahead if you have mats and then look back. So as you saw in this game, I shot out somebody who was cranking up to height on backside of zone, but by focusing that player, I got caught on backside of zone as well. If somebody's being super weird, cranking all the way up to the moon, yeah, you can shoot them out, but don't stay up on height with them because you're just becoming the next dummy that's cranking up on height on backside of zone. This got me focused by the entire lobby. If somebody's being weird, don't be weird with them. In this situation, there were 2 more players, and I got tunnel vision focusing one of the players. You never want to get tunnel vision on one player for too long. Here, I was just sitting staring at this guy, and I ended up losing track of the other player, which let them sneak up behind me. If you're going to focus one person, just make sure you're safe while you do it. I had my whole entire backside open because I didn't think they were going to come that way, but they ended up coming that way. And this last clip, I just set up some bad right-hand peeks, but check out what happened. I just can't believe it, man. So this is one way to VOD review your clips, go over your mistakes, figure out what you did wrong. You don't need to watch back all the games, but just think about it. And if you can't figure out what you did wrong, then go back and watch it and try to learn from it. You can also learn by watching back the good stuff that you did in game and trying to imitate it again in the future. I have videos on that as well. It's my How to Win Every Fight series. If you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend it. But be sure to hit that like button if this video helped you out, subscribe if you're new, use code JIVENTV in the item shop, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.